Good evening. Welcome to another edition of That Millwall Podcast, the Sunday night debrief, the autopsy of the game before. Joined today with our substitute co-host, who is one of the top 10 voted best sports presenters in the whole of the UK. I think it was probably in 1963, but it's still an accolade. What is from a reputable outfit, and means that we are joined by the one and only Neil Fizzler, Millwall fan, and one of the original members of That Millwall Podcast when we started during lockdown. So half of you on here, I think Carl, I think Chris Brown, etc., you will remember Neil, and others will remember Neil from back in the day. So good evening to everybody in the chat. Bobby T, Andrew Roberts, the Andrew Roberts, but not the Andrew Roberts. Dan Cab Millwall be lying. Wow, I'm not going to attempt that name. Ugoro Zosa Khan. Don't know.
Yeah, whatever it is, mate. Yeah.
It does help if I put all your comments on screen. There we go. You can see them all coming in now. And if we do that like that, you can see them all there. And then I will highlight some of them as we go. Chris Brown says, hello, Neil. So does our resident serial killer, Peter Sullivan. If you've not seen him, he is fucking massive. And he scared the shit out of me when he first met me. He walked up beside me and went, are you Mickey? I fucking turned around like that. And when I say that serial killer look, that's what Pete Sullivan's got. So, yeah. You're there.
Call him Sir from now on. Then.
Oh yeah, Sir. Yeah, Sir Peter. I think you say yeah. So good evening, Neil. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Glad to step into the breach for the one and only Omar.
Oh, he might be on in a bit, maybe, but yeah, it's good to have you. As you said, we suffered our pain during lockdown. We done this on the back of a stupid idea, 5 years down the line, and yeah, we're down there. Numerous nominations and stuff. We've never been there to win one, but they've all been with the big ones. So yeah, it's good. We've been on a few different ones. I think Sports Social Podcast of the Year, Sports Podcast of the Year, we've been nominated. The Football Content Awards we've been nominated. So there's been a few, and then I was nominated when I was found on the board twice, 2 years on the trot, for the Football Liaison Officer of the Year, and didn't win. But you know what? It was good. It was a free night out with my missus, free food, free drink, and I met some really good people. And yeah, it was good. It was good. I was there when Barney won, and it was really funny that he was there when Andy Ambler was there, and Andy Ambler still didn't talk to me. Andy Ambler has never talked to me ever. He might just nod at me as if to say, yes, I know you are. But other than that, he's never spoken to me. So, yeah, hey-ho.
Yeah, he's a man of taste, and Mickey, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got good taste. Yeah, fuck me off, yeah. Right then, Neil, tonight we're going to go briefly into talking about the FA Cup game yesterday. Nothing too major. A little bit on the FA Cup. And then we will be going into really what the bigger picture is, the season context, where we are, the fact that obviously we've got some players back, have a chat about some of the stuff on social with some of the anti-Neil and whatnot, because obviously it's stuff that we've been chatting about, and also some of the way that social media nowadays is just a massive overreaction and an interesting I'll be speaking to a social media consultant and stuff, and I didn't realise, but it's really weird that allegedly every Twitter post has an 8-minute shelf life.
Does it?
Allegedly, yeah. So, which was quite interesting.
Yeah, well, I wish that was the case. I was winding up the Nigels for most of yesterday afternoon with one or two of them.
Yeah, I'll keep winding up vermin. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So Yeah, it's always good fun, isn't it, mate? Having a bit of football banter and stuff. And I posted something earlier what isn't Millwall related, but it was something what just fucking amazed me. They're these Nigerian basketball players what were on a video I saw, and then I saw a picture of one of them standing next to Shaq, and he towered over to Shaq. It basically looked like Shaq was standing next to me or standing next to someone taller than me. And I posted the picture, and yeah, people are like, fuck, it's the first time I've seen Shaq stand like making Shaq look like a normal human being. This geezer's 7'11".
Sure, Sullivan.
No, he's fucking no. He's tall, but he ain't that tall. But this geezer's massive. Go on to Twitter and you'll see it, mate. So yeah, it's fucking great, mate. So yeah. Right, we're gonna crack on straight afterwards with the intro into the show with the pretense text. That is after we're gonna play Johnny's intro. So we will see you in 55 seconds time.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
No one likes it, but we don't care. We're That Millwall Podcast. Loud every Friday night right here. Legends like Jimmy and Abdul take a share in the kitchen of two. Super Neil Harris a fucking legend too. Through the good times when this life we support the Lions all our life. This ain't no place for fancy feet. This is fucking Millwall through and through. Located on our very own John Ferguson way. Let them all come, let them have their say. Millwall till we die. With That Millwall Podcast. Loud every Friday night right here.
Good evening and welcome back to the number one Millwall podcast. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Those of you who travelled yesterday, hopefully you had a safe journey back. So then they say the FA Cup is about magic, but yesterday at Turf Moor, it was a harsh reality check. We went toe-to-toe for about 30 minutes. And then the Premier League quality and our own mistakes punished us. We finished Burnley 5, Millwall 1. But does that result deflect or define our season? Absolutely not. We're sitting 5th in the Championship with a real shot to the promised land. Today we strip back that emotion, analyse exactly what went wrong against Scott Parker's Clarets and why Alex Neil's men are still firmly in the driver's seat for the playoffs. This is a very honest and no-nonsense debrief, hence why I have brought in one of the top 10 sports presenters in the UK to join me tonight. Don't worry, Omar, who is number 8, will be here shortly.
Yeah, well, I'll get you about 5 more times for that one.
That's it. So, is there any other awards you've been nominated for or not? You know, I quite fancy the Rear of the Year, but hey-ho.
Mate, I've never won Rugby Journalist of the Year.
Have you not?
Because the people that organise it
Don't
think
like you.
I'm the Antichrist. And no, never been nominated for the SJA Rugby Writer of the Year award.
I think some of these awards, especially in the industry where I work in within the plumbing and heating, I always thought those sort of awards are, I have to be careful, questionable, shall we say. If you do the right thing, you might get where you might get the top prize as such. But no, I think it's I think I get contacted regular of a lot of these awards of nominate yourself and all that, and it's like I don't see what really I need an award to tell me that we're doing a good job. We get people come on the show, make comments, stuff like that. To me, that's happy enough. I don't really see that I need, unless it was something like, I don't know, someone in your peers or something what voted you, and it was a judge-led vote. But I think some of these are not, especially when you're a little tiny podcast and you're going up against like massive people and stuff, like on the FAA or the Football Content Awards, and you've got like shows what probably got millions of viewers, and it's one of those. So
yeah, but it's all followers you've got basically. Yeah, but it's awards. If you're up against, say, Benjamin Bloom, who's got however many thousand followers, and the second tier podcasts that have probably got equally in the thousands of listeners. And
I think a lot of these nowadays are run by media companies. They're either two-bob media companies or they're proper media, and a lot of it, what you sort of got to look at and go, well, actually, a lot of these, all they're doing is trying to promote their own brand. So so they just basically want you to be sitting there going, vote for me in here, so that their Google searches affect and everything else. When at the end of the day, it's about what we do, not about promoting your brand when you're not paying me. I mean, the Football Content Award are the ones they get you to nominate yourself or get you nominated, and then you end up trying to create all the votes. But they charge you I think it's like 200 quid a seat. So they don't give you free tickets to come in. If you've got half a dozen pods on your podcast or something, that's like £200 a seat for a mill. And it's all over the place. I think last year it was Liverpool, it's Manchester. They try and do it all over the place. And then you've got hotels, everything. So realistically, it's going to cost you 500 sovs just to go watch yourself get third place or fifth place or something. And you're like, I'm not over fussed. So is what it is. But one day, mate, we'll be on TalkSport. Don't worry. This time next year. Let's debrief what happened yesterday. I mean, I would probably say let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not send me the award in the post. No worries. Be lying. It's not a problem. There is an award on here. We can do an award tonight with the way that they do comments on here now, that there is a way of us checking and seeing who is the best commenter, who's commented the most and the best commenter on our chat at the end. So, we can definitely do that. That's not an issue at all. Let's have a chat. So let's not sugarcoat it. Burnley are a Premier League club, a bit struggling in 19th place. And we saw why. But their ruthlessness in the final third was the difference between us and them. Burnley had 5 shots on target in the first hour and scored 4 of them. This is the elite level difference between us and them. I mean, the spell before half time, Neil said post-match, we were competitive, creating decent openings, but as Alex Neil said post-match, you need to damage these teams when you have the chance. We didn't, and they did. And that's pretty much it, isn't it? We didn't take our chance. We had a few mistakes, and it cost us. Before we knew, we were down.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, but let's be honest, he was never going to play a side that was going to go up there and win, because we've just come off the back of a very long Christmas and New Year campaign.
Which we did really well with. The points we got out of that was fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah, well, exactly. So he had to rest players. He had to bring players in. And it was always going to be the case. Unfortunately, 3 mistakes from young Grant led to 3 goals. But at the end of the day, are we really bothered?
No.
But the ultimate goal, as you said in the intro, is to get to the Premier League at the end of the season. And we don't have the squad numbers and the squad capability to actually challenge on 2 fronts.
No.
Yeah, that was proved. So until we get a lot of our injured players back, we're really running on fumes, and we've been running on fumes since the start of December. But we're up there, and the chances are, if we were to go and get Macclesfield at home in the next round, we'd get 5,000-6,000. It would cost us money. Then we've got another game to play. I think we've got Sheffield Wednesday away, is it?
Yeah.
On the date of the next round. So then we'd have to play that midweek.
Yeah.
And then we'd have another game postponed. And it's just a distraction. We were in the middle of the table and we didn't have anything to play for, and we lost 5-1 at Burnley, and the Nigels hadn't have just got humiliated on national TV against a Conference North side, I'd have been...
And a team what was pretty much bankrupt and on the verge of not existing not long ago. And I do love the way that Steve Parish had come out in the press all last week and said, listen, all the away tickets you sell, you keep that money. You keep that money, you need it. Off you go, you have it. And now, to me personally, I think a team like Crystal Palace in the Premiership, they're getting enough, money for just taking part. Realistically, they should have just sat there and said, you can have the gate fee. Because teams like it is Macclesfield, isn't it? It's Macclesfield, isn't it? Yeah, teams like them have been in the league forever and a day, and a couple of $100,000 to them would last them, years, compared to, realistically, Crystal Palace will spend that probably on one player's wages for the next month. So,
the grand scheme of things is it's a distraction that we didn't, but that we could do without. And that's, at the end of the day, okay, I'm disappointed we lost 5-1, because I would have thought that we could go up there and give a little bit of a better account of ourselves. But as long as we stay in and around the playoffs, so what? Who cares?
No, and I mean, I think, you're looking at, I think that you look at it and you go, I think when we were looking at it, we basically had Derek, what was going to play, what would have then given us a lot more opportunities in the middle. It would have been made a little bit better with the youth. And I think the fact that when they went up by coach or the train the day before, and he got off the train as per Neil's post-match, he then, he was limping and he had trouble walking. So to me, it's like that probably threw in. He didn't have other players there to replace what took, because he was resting a load. And it was just one of those. I think it just literally, look, he couldn't put all the youth in probably because they played on Friday. There was a youth game on Friday and some other games, and, they probably weren't ready to play against it. And if we'd have fielded all youth and lost 10-0, there'd be half a dozen people, what we'll come on to later, what probably would have moaned. But I think realistically, look, I don't blame Camel Grant for the mistakes he showed. He hasn't played properly in a championship all season, and he gets put into an FA Cup against Premiership team, and, silly mistakes, they will punish you. But I don't think it's his fault. I think it's all a learning. What it does show is that maybe he needs to go out and have 30, 40 games with a good League One, League Two side to get that experience, to get something behind him, because I don't think he's going anywhere. I think in a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years' time, he is going to be a formidable player for us, because he's there. He just needs that guidance of someone next to him. And he just needs to understand that. And I think, sticking him out to League One or somewhere, I think he'll get that experience and he'll come back a stronger player.
Yeah, but it's no good lobbing him out to a conference club, because he's far and away. He needs to go to a top half League One side.
Yeah.
But I completely agree. It's the same with a few others. Howland, is it Howland?
Yeah, Howland. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's another one that he isn't going to get tremendous game time, so let's loan him out to somebody in League One, and let's get half a season of games under his belt where he can play in a league that is pretty unforgiving. Yeah, there's not much finesse in League One, is there?
No, I mean,
probably actually the same with AJ Matthews.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Yeah, because these are players that we've got to look at. Because the problem is that, I mean, I'd hate to be in the position of James Barrison, Gallen, Alex Neil, and the board and whatnot at the moment, because you've got players coming out of contracts you've got to look at, and there's no point making too many deals now, because you're looking at those players and going, can they offer us an opportunity within the Championship? Maybe. Can they offer us opportunity within the Premier League? Probably not. Yeah. So you don't necessarily want to make a decision right now. So you want to wait a little bit, but you want to obviously make sure that you're not pissing off these players and agents, so you get to a stage where, which I don't think they're going to be going anywhere, the likes of Billy and people like that, I don't think they're going to be going anywhere. But you've got to look at there and go, if we get to the Prem, or we look as if we're making a challenge to the Prem, then we're going to have to literally buy players. So we're then going to have a clean out. And you're looking and going, well, you know, loads of people are going, oh, we need a right back. Right now, we don't need a right back. We've got Caleb and Cooper in the middle, and we've got Crammer on the right. At the moment, we don't need a right back because that's working. Okay, Bender in goal for the FA Cup. Look, at the end of the day, yep, he was the better choice, you know, realistically, of what we had on the spare line. We wanted to rest Max, give him a little bit of a chill out for a game, which is good rather than the league, because that's where we need him. Bender come in. Bender was never going to be, you were never going to get Coleman. I mean, Coleman hasn't played championship. I think Coleman's played 6 championships games, and I think the last 3 of them were 2 years ago or so. So you're not going to play him realistically. It's going to be Bender. But as soon as Jensen comes back, Bender's gone. Bender is only ever here as Jensen's replacement. So as soon as Jensen comes back into the mould, then he'll be number 1, Max be number 2, and Bender will be off. I think Bender's only here potentially till the end of January. I thought maybe not, but yeah.
No, I thought it was a season-long loan, because I would have thought that all loans would be up at the start of January if it was only for the first half of the season. Yeah, well, Bender's contribution's been questionable. He's not been that good, has he? Yeah, let's be honest. Even when he was number 1, he looked a bit suspect.
Yeah.
Crocombe, to be fair, I think okay, or Crocombe, isn't it? It's been okay. But
I'm sorry, Peter Sullivan, that's so funny.
Yeah, no, I saw that earlier on. Yeah, but Powell ought to be asking for a replay because he couldn't give a half-time interview.
But yeah, I mean, we'll come on to the players and that in a little while. But I think yesterday, you know, I just think the 2 goals were gifts. We gave the ball away. There was no real pressure. And again, these are Neil's words. You know, giving the ball away under no real pressure is criminal against top-tier opposition, which I agree with. I think it was very, very, very sort of naive and just, you know, if you do that, you're going to get punished. I think we need to talk about the backline rotation. While resting key legs for the league is understandable, the drop-off in organisation with start Ashley Barnes, a veteran at 36, was allowed far too much space to get 1 goal, let alone 2. It felt like we made it easy for a striker who hasn't scored all season. Do you agree with that?
Barnes is a bully, yeah? If Ashley Barnes can bully somebody, Ashley Barnes will bully them. I think it was his 2nd goal. How in the hell it went in? I didn't think he got that much of a touch on it. It seemed to certainly scuff it. Yeah, but I think it was his 2nd goal. But, mate, it is what it is. Yeah, we had a kid who unfortunately made a few mistakes and they took advantage of them. The one good thing is that Zian Fleming wasn't around to take advantage of it. Yeah, did he have Millwall flu?
I don't know. I don't know if he did or he didn't, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Not played for the last few games, but
what do you call it? I'm hearing that his quad isn't as bad as what it was first recognised, and I hear that he is back in training, and he could be back, you know, sooner rather than later. So yeah,
the quad's only your thigh, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd done that in the charity game at Millwall, mate. Fucking was fine for 35 minutes, and then fucking some Speedy Gonzalez come past me. I fucking sprinted after him and done both my quads and had to come off. I was in pain. And it's the worst place because every time you sit down and get up, it fucking hurts. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think the problem with Jensen is that he just needs to get some that if he isn't that badly injured or badly hurt until and isn't out till the end of the season, just needs to get some games under his belt.
No, that's it. Let's finish up. Yeah,
but it's a funny thing. But don't know how he did it, but he could have done it. Not had much to do. Cold, dived, and then kicked a ball.
Fleming's been injured for a couple of games. So
yeah, but I thought he did. I saw the Man United game.
Yeah.
Wasn't playing.
I suppose the only positive, really, Josh Coburn back, even though there was some media outlets reporting through some dodgy sources they have that Coburn had a setback and was going to be out till March. Well, bugger me. If he's going to be out for March, his twin brother done fucking well yesterday and scored a goal and, coming back. So, first game back, 94th minute. And it's currency, isn't it? I mean, getting that is positivity for the striker, positivity to the club, to, not getting, no goals. And one goal, okay, look, it's still 5-1, but one goal's better than none. And it means that we take the clean sheet away from Burnley. And, we head back down at least, with a little bit of pride, not a lot, but a little bit.
Yeah, but the one lesson that I can offer in journalism, there's not many lessons in life I can offer, and that is to check your sources properly. Yeah, if somebody says that somebody's out until March, April because they've re-injured themselves, at least check with somebody. Don't believe it. And to be fair, Coburn is somebody that we need back because the BFS having to do it all on his own, hasn't he?
A big fucking Serb.
Yeah.
For those who don't realise, yeah.
Yeah, but he's had to do it on his own. Langstaff has done well in the last few games, I'll be honest. Since they put him in midfield, I think he's offered a bit. But we need
Langstaff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen. If you want me to post them up somewhere, I will. But if you look at Langstaff, it's all on YouTube. If you look at Langstaff when he was at Gateshead, he played more of that sweeping role. More of that role of coming in from the side. It was when he went to Notts County. When he went to Notts County, the manager there wanted him to play in a more central role, as in like a sort of poacher striker role, and that's where he was playing. But that, I don't think that position really suits him with us. But I think that holding the ball, that being involved in everything, knocking balls on, etc., I think that suits him better. Sort of like a number 10 role. Not really a number 10, but that sort of position probably suits him a lot better than a lone striker as such, especially if we haven't got wingers putting the balls in for him.
Yeah, but Coburn will take a great deal of confidence out of that goal. Yeah, but let's be honest, it was 3 very heavy touches.
Yeah, very.
3 very heavy touches, but it was actually a lovely deft finish.
Yeah, just chipped it up over the keeper was nice. He dragged it out, so the keeper went to slide, and as he went to slide, he just chipped it over him. And he also had a defender coming in, so I mean, he was under pressure, and pop it was done. So,
but he will take a great deal of confidence out of that, and get back into training this week, and it will be all systems go for Watford. Because, well, let's face it, we got Watford, Coventry. Is it the Spotters and then Birmingham the next 4 games? I know there's somebody in.
We've got Spotters on the 24th. Yeah, I think we've got
Birmingham after that, and we've got Coventry next Tuesday. Is it? And Watford. So we've actually got a huge.
We've got Watford first, and we've got Watford. Yeah, Watford, and then so we got Watford next Saturday, haven't we? I don't think we got a game midweek. We got Watford Saturday.
Yeah, Sheffield United. Somebody's just put it in the comments. Yeah. It's Watford, Coventry, Spotters, Sheffield United, I think. Yeah. So that is 4 massive games, and to have him back, and there's an option to come off the bench, so we don't have to run Ivanovic into the ground for 80 and 90 minutes. Because let's be honest, Ivanovic hasn't looked the same player that he looked last season. I don't know if that's because he's actually been playing too much football, or we're not creating a number of chances. Yeah, so that's going to affect him. And to have Coburn to take a lot of the pressure off him.
I think it's.
Stop talking. I was running out of things to say then.
No, you're good. I think it's pretty much what you were saying now. I think Josh Coburn scoring was great. I think that was a benefit for us, and I think realistically for the FA Cup, I think we're pretty much there. I have highlighted some of your comments, and we will come back to those in a little bit and go through them. So yeah. Mickey, we spend the cash if you want to stay in the top 10, top 6. See, this is it. We're just going to just quickly before we go what you started with. I agree with you, your sources. It's so important to have correct sources. I mean, there was something when we first doing it years ago, and it's something what you said and others, but it's something where you always hear the BBC that they won't publish anything without 2 confirmed, different sources, as much as the BBC is the BBC, but they always sit there and say 2 confirmed sources from different people. They do. And we do. And look, worst case scenario, you can email the club and ask the club, is there any truth in this? And they will tell you one way or another. They might sit there and say to you, yes, but, hold back for a minute because it's in negotiations or something else. And you'll sort of get an understanding of when you can and can't. Because, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to, I think some days with the world of journalism, some days you have to play a game, don't you, Neil? You do in a professional world. That some days you'll have a story what's too big to keep, but other days it becomes into a bit of a barter, as in, okay, I'll embargo this one for a little bit, but what are you going to give me to hold? Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit of a swing, but putting information about a player who isn't, all you're doing then by saying that this player's coming back now or this player's injured for further, all you're pretty much doing is giving the opposition ammunition to suddenly understand what sort of team we're going to play. So realistically, sometimes it's probably better not to, give out player injuries. But I think they probably learned their lesson and understand that, just because 2 people on a WhatsApp group give you a bit of information probably isn't the best way to go about it.
You've actually spent too much time around me. You actually know the Neil Fizzler. You were negotiating with clubs and agents' handbook, don't you?
You know what it is, right? So and get your bingo cards ready. When I was found on the board, I saw stories kept out in the press. I saw stories get swapped in, and then from then, it's always amazed me. So when you see like the story of Ant and Deck that time with a drink driving, or he come out with something else, that his agent's basically given a story to stop something what's more damaging to come out. And you'll see it with different people and all of this. And now on, I just look at, I don't believe a word what goes in the paper. I think there's always, a backstory to it. Same as when you come out and see that this celebrities did this or that celebrities, there's always a backstory there. So I think, you in an ideal world, yeah, you'd love to just throw everything out there. But I think in a realistic world, if you want to be able to get privilege or do stuff, you can't just be gung-ho and go, Alex Neil said this or done this or done that. I think it's just a game of give and take. And unfortunately, it is. And trust me when I say, I honestly believe that being found on the board was fantastic for what achieved for the fan base. But on a personal level of being that close to Millwall as a business, probably ruined the love and that secret element around Millwall, that actually deep down Millwall is a business, and it's a business what it takes money to run, it takes this, it takes that, and it sort of ruined it a little bit. But doing this, I get it back. It's good, but yeah, unfortunately, we've all got our sources. So yeah.
Yeah, well, let me tell you a very quick story. The News of the World in the editor's office used to have a safe, and within that safe were stories that were kept for a rainy day or that were too dodgy that the lawyers wouldn't pass them. One famous one was a former England international was cheating on his wife. Another one was a couple involved in a well-known incident. We're actually on a swingers holiday. All kinds of stuff, mate. Some of the stuff, but you're actually right. Millwall and any sports organisation, they'll do deals and they'll put stories out there that they want. I have clubs come to me and say, might be interested in this person. Can you do that? Yeah, no problem at all. Or an agent will come to you and say, same as it'll be in football. And it was in football when I worked in football. Can you put that kind of story in the public domain?
Yeah.
And or can you keep this out? He really could do without this being publicised. And if you work with the agent, and I work with several clubs on a close basis, you do because they'll bloody remember it in the long term. You need them almost as much as they need you.
Yeah, and also agents are. I just put a poll on the YouTube: who's better, the Serb or Coburn? Just get involved. It's in the YouTube chat. What's those of you are in there right at the top? So yeah, go on and do it. But yeah, I think it's there. I mean, I've learned there was something what you said years ago when we first started: is that make friends with agents. Just don't be afraid of chasing an agent. Find out who their agent is and ask a question, because agents will always want a story out there if it's good news, and if it's bad news, they'll avoid it. But yeah, it's just you can get a lot from just doing it and being proactive. So yeah, it's work. PA agents are like the mafia. They fucking are like the mafia, to be fair, mate.
They're worse.
The funniest thing with PR was when we did the regen, and we turned two of the biggest PR agencies on their arse, London Communication and another one who Steve Norris was something to do with. There was two, and they were two of the biggest. I think one was Smile and one was London Communication. They were two of the biggest ones in the country. And it was funny because we got briefed by someone who does crisis management, and he said, "You're a fucking nightmare." He said, "They can't deal with you because as soon as they try to block you here," he said, "you just literally turn 360 and go, okay, and literally go, and they just can't attack you." Because everything we posted during the regen was just fact. There was nothing they could come back, hit us with a court case, threaten to sue us or anything else. So yeah, it's good fun, mate. We've gone tangent and we're going to come back in. So FA Cup, we're out, move on, get over it, job done. Who cares? I don't. Do you, Neil?
No, mate. Yeah, well, as long as we stay in that top six,
yep,
and we're inside the top six after the final game of the season, we'll look back and we'll shrug our shoulders and say, so fucking what if we lost 5-1 at Burnley?
Yep, 100% agree with you. So let's move on to make sure you press like, because there's quite a few of you who haven't yet. 50 likes so far. There's loads more of you in the chat. So come on, make sure you press the like button for us. Let's start then with the bigger picture, the season the context. Eyes on the prize, the championship. We know that the club's been talking about potential Premier League push for 2030. I think at the start of the season, the club didn't really have any expectation to be where we are now. This is probably the greatest start to a season, at least since the early 2000s, but I think probably in 88, I think we had on 15 games, we were on 36 points. On 15 games this season, we were on 31 points. So it just shows, or 33 points, I think it was, and 31. So it just goes to show where we are on talent. And we can come to where we are with the talent in a little minute or two with where we rate this current team. But listen, no one in their right mind thought we would be fifth. No one in the right mind would have thought we'd have got the points what we got over Christmas. What did we get? We got 5 points, 8 points out of 11, 8 points out of 12.
Yeah, something like that.
Which no one would have thought. We're above Watford, Hull, Stoke. We're massively in the mix. The fact we don't have the FA Cup is a result because, yes, okay, paying for the money would be great, but it clears the schedule. So, we've got no distractions. It's just pretty much 20 cup finals left in the league. And I honestly, hand on heart, believe that I don't think, apart from Coventry, maybe, unless they get a wobble, but I don't necessarily think they will with the replacements they brought in, like the filters they brought in. But I think maybe position 2 is going to be up for grabs. The second promotion, I think Middlesbrough potentially might end up having a wobble. I mean, you're looking at Coventry, they're on 52 points, Middlesbrough's on 46, and then Ipswich 44, we're on 43, Watford on 41, Hull on 41, and then Stoke on 40, and then obviously it's around there or thereabouts. But I mean, realistically, we're one win off second place at the minute.
Yeah, we are. And I think in our heart of hearts, we all thought we could do something this season, but we've certainly gone a lot better than I thought we were going to go when they all started dropping like flies and we were struggling to put out a midfield and this, that and the other. I think Bobby might have a little point, but I think that when teams go into the Premier League, there's just something. They might not win every game, but they don't necessarily get smashed in every game. I think at home would be very difficult to play against because of the crowd. I think the crowd would give us an advantage because there's no two ways about it. Most of these Nancy boys, they wouldn't ever have been to bloody a ground where people are on top of them and trying to screech at them when they're taking a throw, and it's extremely hostile. I think.
No, absolutely. I mean, Chris, you have a valid point. Coventry have only won 2 in their last 5, I mean, technically, they lost. No, they've won twice in the last 6. So once in the last 5, they've had win, draw, loss, draw, loss. So I mean, look, I honestly believe that there is a massive opportunity this season. I think going into this league this season, there's only 4 clubs in there with playoff with parachute money, which is the least it's ever been. Some of the big clubs coming in, the likes of Wrexham and Birmingham, what everyone expected to do really, really well. Okay, they're not so. Wrexham's fairly up in the mix as such, and Birmingham is quite a bit off. They're 10 points off pretty much us, or 9 points off us. And we all thought the money there. We're not going to compete with Wrexham on the income they've got at the moment and the wages they're spending, purely because they've got 40-50 million pound a year in retail turnover alone, let alone anything else. So I mean, and again,
but they are both going to be hit by profit and sustainability. That helps us. The fact that we don't spend huge amounts of wages.
Well, you say that. I mean, I still.
Yeah, but then again, we have sold 25-30 million pounds worth of players in the.
But the trouble is, as you know, and I know, Neil, that money isn't instant. That money is spread over a few years, and it comes in bits and pieces and stuff. Hence why
you pay out is
and hence why you don't. Why we would never have took SA back even on loan. It just wouldn't have happened. But I still think realistically, if you think we're going to be making a big site, everyone going, "Oh, Coburn's it." We paid pretty much nothing on Coburn. I don't think we paid the money what's being reported. I think there probably is that level of money if we tick every box on the agreement. But I think the initial money isn't anywhere near that, because I think as a club, we have to be realistic with our spend. We ain't going to go out and spend £5-10 million on a player, because while the Berrisons are still putting, 15, 20, 25 million pound a year into the club, just to keep the lights on, we're not going to be ridiculous with what we're doing. So I am pleased that we have a family like the Berrisons in charge who are realistic, and hence why I think this big model change has happened, because I think if it hadn't, and we still had the old guard in charge, I think we'd be in trouble. I don't think we'd be where we are now. And if we were, we would be massively, massively in the red.
I think that I agree with a lot of that. I think that people that go out and say, oh, this player's only going to cost us £3 million. £3 million has to comes into profit and sustainability. You have to look at this. And we can't afford to be one of those clubs that gambles on promotion, and then if they don't make it, they're going to come back and they're going to hammer you, and you're putting the future of the club at stake. Because how many clubs have you seen that have gambled on promotion and have ended up in League Two? 2 years
Look at Norwich now.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Norwich now. Norwich now are sitting in the bottom 3 on 24 points. Okay, they could get out, but the only people above them is Portsmouth, Blackburn, the wankers round the corner, the train spotters, and realistically, even Sheffield Wednesday. But Norwich going down would be huge, because they would never have thought they would have been in this position. So I guarantee that they've probably got players on contracts without relegation clauses in, because they never thought they were going to be. So Premier League money, big money, and then going. And I think that a lot of it is where it is. People chatting this weekend about, Norton Cuffy potentially going to Everton. Listen, when he come to us, and it was when he was at Arsenal, he was on 20, 25, 30 grand a week then. So he would never come to us, because we're not going to sit there and pay him that money. And that's the problem, where people go, you do this. No, look, even if he cost us 5 million, by the time you look at the wages of 30, 20, 30 grand a week, you're looking at that's an extra million a year, just over realistic by the time you add it all up, that we can't be sustaining that. That just isn't sustainable for us forever, because, we have sponsors who seem to, want to be big name sponsors and then fucking go madness. And again, I think that's probably another show, Euro ferries and fucking My Guava and Husky. We seem to have a habit. We have a ferry company who has no ferries. We have a hot chocolate company with no hot chocolate. And we have a finance company with no facility of being able to be a finance company. So, we have a trend. We have a trend running there. But again, they were, all under the old guard, to be fair. I think even My Guava was agreed under the old guard.
Yeah, well, can I just make a couple of points based on the chat? To Sir Peter, I think that Leicester, that was going to be my next point. Leicester have been promoted twice and relegated, and they escaped under profit and sustainability on a moot point that they weren't actually a Premier League club when they first got done. Yeah. And they got away with it. So they got relegated, and now they're looking for something else. But we can't afford to be one of those clubs that goes up and they fine you 20 or 30 million quid and take 5 points off you, because that 20 or 30 million pound would do us some good. And to Daily Millwall, I quite agree. You buy high, but you sell higher. But unfortunately, you need to sell first to be able to buy higher and to sell even higher.
I think also I think this new model works, but the problem is that I think with the power, and again, it's another show what I'm currently writing at the minute, to be fair. The problem you've got is that the Premier League is holding other leagues pretty much at gunpoint, and it's like, you will do this, like the new Category 1 academy stuff and all that, and it's like, Category 1 can buy off Category 1, but no one else can. And you're like, look, it's literally, if you don't want this, or you're going to vote against my idea of this, then rather than just giving you £100 million a year, we're going to give you 80. And you pretty much, if you want the full money, then this is how it's going to, allegedly, okay, just in case any Premier League fucking lawyers are watching, allegedly how it works. And then, of course, the Football League manager or the Football League chairman are going to vote because they want that money coming in. And again, it's again, on the back of teams like Wrexham. Wrexham has done wonders from League Two, League One, Championship, to have a 40-50 million pound retail sale across through their brand. The fact that the TV show worked well, the Sunderland
all off the back of that.
But all on the back of that. But the FA now, or the EFL now, see that and think it's scalable across. And I'm not being funny. Millwall could do a TV show quite happily, but
can you imagine? Can you imagine how good it would be?
Netflix, I'll volunteer for you. But it would, to me, you're missing a trick. Don't change Millwall. Millwall is the closest club to London. We are traditional working class fan base, even though it's changing, but we are. And the way to sell it across the world, okay, and I've looked into this massively deeply with a friend of mine and who works in that world, in the marketing and PR and everything world. That is what you do, sell the pie and mash, sell the traditional London fucking atmosphere. We are rough around the edges. We don't do an Arsenal to us. Don't do a Fulham, a Chelsea, etc. We are what you get, right? And if you don't like it, don't fucking come. But if you want to see real atmosphere with people calling people cunts and the referee's a fucking wanker and all of that, then Millwall is your one to go to. Is it marketable and for sponsors? No. But if you can sell it, it works. And it would work.
Yeah, but he has indeed got PR mafia connections, as our Mickey.
I've got mafia, but I mean, no, I don't have any connections.
What you say now, Mick? What you say?
Yeah, no.
I don't have to lock my front door at night because you...
Do you know what? Actually, saying that, you just reminded me, Neil. There is only ever one show. And don't mention it. Do not mention the fucking name. There is only one show ever in the history of over 600 and nearly 700 shows done, what we've done in our time. There is only one show that we put out live and we couldn't then post it out afterwards because halfway through it, we were talking about someone and I kept saying, no, I'm not even going to say what the offence was because people would know it and put it in the comment. And I kept saying to Neil, no, allegedly. And he going, no, convicted. No, allegedly. And because we were live, we couldn't do anything. It was like really fucked. So, yeah, literally, as soon as that show ended, it got pulled. It wouldn't go back up on YouTube and it didn't go out as a podcast because to cut 10 minutes out of the middle would have not made sense about anything around it. But that is, and Neil is the winner of that title of being the reason one That Millwall podcast show ever being cancelled or being never aired anywhere for not even 1 minute. It was just literally while it was live and then it was pulled.
I want to pick you up on something.
Go on then.
There was another show that we didn't put out.
Oh yeah, no, there was, yeah. But that was all three of us. That didn't even see the light of day.
Yeah,
exactly. Your one did. We were live at the time with about 230 viewers at the time, and we had to then do it. I mean, it was brilliant and it was great, but it could have ended really badly, but it didn't.
It was a case of opening my mouth before engaging my brain, children.
Yeah, that was funny. And then the pylons on Twitter at the same time with other stuff. So yeah, it was all good fun, but hey, it is what it is.
That's probably why you don't have me back that often.
No, I'll have you back whenever you want, mate. So yeah. What's that? We need the championship to break away for the EFL. Won't happen. Even though in research I'm doing, what surprised me, it surprised you, Neil, as well. The championship allegedly is the second most viewed league in the whole of Europe.
I actually wondered, and it's been talked about for a long, long time.
Oh, go on. I've got some knowledge on what I think you're going to say. Go on.
The championship being Premier League 2. That's been talked about for a very, very, very long time. I could see that happening at some stage, but it would.
Yeah, I could.
But it would be no. They can't break away from the FA's disciplinary because
the Premier League's in there as well.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but they're the governing body, and
Listen,
they control discipline. UEFA and FIFA make you sign up to that. So that
I think the truth of the matter is, Neil, EFL and the Premier League will never be able to walk away from the FA disciplinary because that is what pays for the FA to keep the lights on.
The laws of the game. They are the governing body. They are the national governing body.
Yeah,
that actually,
even though they gave it away, but yeah.
No, they are the national governing body of football in this country.
But if they had enough bollocks, then we wouldn't have an independent regulator now either. But hey ho, that's what it is.
Yeah, but they had to sign up to that, didn't they?
Well, they didn't have to, but they could have. If the FA had more, bollocks and actually didn't give. But they gave the Premier League away. They didn't. The best negotiation I've told is that the FA, the Premier League offered them a chunk of money every year going forward, a percentage every year going forward. They had no faith that the Premier League was going to be as big as it was, so they turned around and said no, didn't want it, and we want this. So in the end, they got a one-off payment or something, and then literally, as the Premier grew, the percentage what they would have got would have been worth an absolute fortune now. But hey ho, they didn't do it. But yeah, I think the Premier League's going to go to a season ticket from the Premier League. They're going to sell season tickets, monthly season tickets, £20, because there's this big drive for this last part of the last part of the TV series or the TV contract. The fact that all the VPNs are being sponsored by all the big shows, the fact that they're gaining all your IP addresses, the fact that Sky, BT are gaining all your IP addresses, the fact that Amazon's changing everything to make sure that they're not, the fact that someone gave BN about £1 billion to apologise for Saudi Arabia, allegedly, most of the freeding come from there. So there's a massive purge on all of this. And I think all of that is because at some point in 29, 30, once they've got their new studios all built, what being built now, the Premier League will have their own season ticket. And then I think if that works, then I think that you will get the EFL sort of piggyback on the back. That could be the time where you'll get Premier League 2.
Simon Jordan talks about that quite a lot on Woke and Nigel. That you can actually see there being a Netflix of football, if you like.
Oh, they're building now. They've got a studio being built. I mean, if you look into them, they've got a studio being built now at the Olympia, a purpose-built, massive new studio building, top of the range. And also they've just headhunted the guy who was at TNT Sport, and they've just taken him on to be head of their media operations. So something's coming.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think the biggest mistake the EFL did was not going with the Zone, because the Zone were apparently interested in the last TV deal. They wanted to put every game on, cancel the 3 p.m. blackout. Yeah, and I personally think that's what they should have done. And then charged you the same thing, £20 a month or something. Every game's on an app. And
do not think for any reason that the Premier League and Sky have any other reason apart from charging you more for the 3 p.m. blackout. If they can get rid of the 3 p.m. blackout, that's pretty much that you will then pay more to have 3 p.m. games. The reason that it's not being shown and people go, well, around the world you can see it, all of that. Yeah, well, the reason is that here people will go to football, and you only need to look at a midweek game when it's on telly. People will suddenly go, do I need to go? And you will have that hugely a lot. And it works in their favour because more people who sit there and go, I'll watch it at telly, that means there's more tourists what are going to go to the game. And more tourists means more money.
In what doesn't help in an evening is actually it's a lot more difficult to get around. And there's a lot more people that are my age, in your late 50s now, that think, would I rather go out and freeze my bollocks off watching a 0-0 draw, or would I rather sit in the warm?
No, that's it.
with something nice to eat and drink and watch the game.
No, that's it. But look, we've talked bollocks for 10 minutes. Let's go back to where we were talking about this season, where we're going. Alex Neil Ball, 112, drawn 7, lost 7. We seem to grind out results when before we never really did. We seem to have had managers previous who didn't want to win but didn't want to lose. Neil's shown us a few times this season that he's up for winning games and making changes. And then obviously, you know, we seem to have an anomaly because we've opened up too much. But in the league, obviously against Burnley, but in the league, our success has always been built on being horrible to play against and then clinical on the break. And Femi Aziz, 6 goals, more than our entire strikers. So we need to get back to, I know it's a cliche, and if Omar was here, he'd be sitting there saying it, not necessarily a Millwall type player as such, but I think what we need to get back to is a Den DNA. We need to be tight, aggressive, disciplined team, and the crowd needs to come on side. And I think if we can do that, I think we'll cause problems.
Absolutely. I think, I keep on harping back to it, but our injuries haven't helped us. We haven't been able to field the type of squad that at the start of the season looked bloody superb, didn't it? But Smallbone out, Casper Dinor out.
Casper's on the verge back. I think Smallbone's out till March.
Yeah, but Longo, I think he's out till the end.
He's out for. He's
just starting to become a very, very, very influential player for us. Yeah, so when you look at it, we haven't been able to put out our first choice side since October. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Well, I'll be honest. When Alex Neil was appointed, I thought But 18 months, how long's it been here now? 18 months, 2 years?
Pretty much. I mean, if you think the start of the last season, Neil Harris was there for a little while, until the Christmas or whatever.
So he's actually been pretty much 18 months.
Yeah. Look, you think of the players we had 18 months ago to what we've got now? Is that no? He's been here a year, isn't he? This Christmas was 365 days. You're right. Daily Millwall. So this Christmas was 365 days. He come in last Christmas, 2024.
Exactly, and he's won me around. I actually think he's the best Millwall manager we've had in donkey's years.
He's got the best ratio, I think. I think he's got the best.
He is, and he's finding a way of getting results. No, but let's be honest. If we play like Barcelona every week or play like Real Madrid, people still find fault in it. But we're Millwall, We're rough and ready around the edges. We sign a lot of people that nobody else wants. And we've done bloody well. He's been absolutely superb with us. He is really, really... He's taken us to another level. I know that Rowett stabilised us. Harris saved us. But he has really taken us to the next level, I think. And I think if we actually persist with him and we look after him and we give him the resources he needs, he'll do for us what he did for Norwich. And I think he got them promoted, didn't he?
That's it. There you go. Look, Alex Neil's first game in charge was home to Oxford on January the 1st, 2025.
Yes, so, and I was probably saying
it was shit.
He's shit because I think we lost it, didn't we?
Yeah. Do you know what the madness is? Is that if you look at all the managers who were rumoured to be around us at the time, they've all gone on and pretty much been sacked pretty much wherever they went. So Matt Bloomfield, I suppose what's his name hasn't Nathan Jones, but then again, no one really wanted Nathan Jones at all. You had obviously Schumacher and a few others like that, but you just look at it and you just go. I mean, realistically, on paper he was the best manager for us. Danny Robbins and Chris, I've got your question. I've highlighted them. We'll come back to him in a minute. You had obviously Schumacher and a few others like that, but you just look at it and you just go. I mean, realistically, on paper he was the best manager for us. Danny Robbins and Chris, I've got your question. I've highlighted them. We'll come back to him in a minute. I just think that for a non-Millwall heritage manager, he has very quickly learned what being a Millwall manager is about.
I hate the expression with a vengeance, and I used it to an agent the other day. It was part of something. His DNA. Yeah, I can't stand that. It's like
I don't think it's in his DNA. I just think that he understands.
He understands the Millwall DNA. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think that's it.
All about. Yeah.
I think it's
the expression.
What is? I mean, again, tell us in the comments. What do you class? What would you personally? I think a Millwall DNA is tight, aggressive, in your face.
Works hard,
doesn't give up. Will run. For 100 minutes on a 90-minute game. They will leave everything on the pitch, and they're just aggressive. They will go through it. Daniel Bartlett says he's pretty much a Doc Mark too.
I wouldn't disagree with that. Somebody else said we always do well with Scottish managers. Yes, we do. Bob Hunter, managers for donkey's years in the early 1900s. Then we had, obviously Doc, John Docherty, McGee, George Graham, McGee,
Steve Lomas.
He's from Northern Ireland, Mickey.
Oh yeah, of course he is. Sorry. Do you know what? I've done this before. It weren't me last time. It was Omar who said Steve Lomas, and then we realised that he's fucking Irish, not Scottish. But yeah, it was because it was a Scottish team. So yeah.
Yeah, just because he's actually got ginger hair, Mickey.
Yeah, that's it. There's a lot of comments here we're going to come back to in a minute, but and I'd like you to get in the comments. If you could sign one player, and we get them in the comments so we can come back to them in a bit. We get in early. If you could sign one player in January to guarantee a top 6 finish, what position are you prioritising? That's for the comments. So get in the comments. We'll come on to it in a little bit, but I just wanted to get a few of you in the comments so that we could come back on that.
And Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane aren't available.
Yeah, no, realistic players, what potentially we can get. So, yeah. And then we'll see there. But I don't know. Personally, let's talk about it. I would say that I would look at either an attacking midfielder, maybe experienced, or a defensive midfielder, maybe 2 there. And then I'd probably look at a lone striker, but maybe an experienced lone striker rather than a 19-year-old from League 2.
Yeah, apparently we dodged a bullet.
Wow, that's random. Lomas was born in Germany.
I think he was born on a military base, thinking about it. Who would we? I think we need a striker. I don't know why. I just think we don't need too many. We definitely need to bolster the midfield a little bit because we've obviously lost 2 midfielders. Schmodex, that's an interesting one. Could do a job.
I don't think there's anything in there. I'll tell you who I would love, but I don't think you'd ever get him. But only because of the game when we played him, and he just did not fucking stop running. And he's also a horrible, horrible little cunt. He's Barry Bannon. But I think he's a Sheffield Wednesday man through and through. But he's a horrible little cunt, and also, he fucking don't stop. He is a good captain, or he's a good fucking leader for them, and he's in everyone. When we played him, when they come to the Den, he was fucking in everything, absolutely involved in everything, and he is horrible. But he's got to be what 35,
yeah,
36.
If that.
But do you know what? I'd take him for a season, maybe, or fucking half a season.
I think
I've heard that he's on shit money up there, so yeah, I think it's more for love than anything else.
Yeah, well, we do need a leader type of role because I think that's something that we don't get too many voices on the pitch. Oh God Almighty, no, please not. not Haaland. He's completely overrated.
Well, I think Schmudix or whatever. I think the problem with him, he'll probably be on ridiculous money from when they're in the Prem.
Absolutely. And I saw on Hoff, the Plymouth striker. Can't bloody remember his name. And I've seen him play a lot. But then again, they want 3-5 million for him. Piero. Luke
O'Neill is George Honeyman Mark II, maybe. I mean, listen, I think getting rid of Honeyman, getting rid of Hutchinson, getting rid of Saville, I think was probably the right call, really. But as again, I said to you, when Neil started, the players we had then to players we got now were like chalk and cheese. I mean, when Neil started the season, 24-25 season, our best striker was Bradshaw.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that Millwall's main problem for the last however many years is we've hung on to players for too long.
Yeah.
And I think that...
We need Bob Peters back.
Yeah, we almost had him back as manager, didn't we, at some stage?
I don't think we need them at all, mate, whether or not they're free or whether or not they paid us to come here, mate.
No. I get the impression that both have actually retired. I think that Watmore has decided he doesn't want to play anymore.
Chris Woods, the man who used us before to get a better deal in the Premier League, would he come here? No, we offered him a good deal before, and he basically used us to get more money. I can't think where he went. Leicester, was it? Did he go Leicester first?
It was, yeah. Kiefer Moore, somebody else has mentioned.
Kiefer Moore's never wanted to come here, would he?
Kiefer Moore is at Wrexham. Isn't he at Wrexham now?
Chris Brown is on drugs. This is when you know that someone's account has been hacked.
It's not even worth us commenting on that, is it?
No. I mean, that would be thingy. Wouldn't mind Harry Wilson on loan from Fulham, apparently looking for a move.
Yeah, but didn't he score the other day against Walham Green?
Maybe. I like the way we don't even mention it, but those watching the comments have got it and gone, yep, off we go. So, yeah.
Mickey's obviously reading something, or was Mickey?
Oh, no, I was looking at the thingy there. But, yeah, no, I was just looking. I just typed in Barry Banner. I wanted to see how old he was. And, he plays as a central midfielder, doesn't he? He is a nightmare, but I don't think we'll get him. I think he's...
How old is he, Mickey? You just said
30... he was born 1989. So, yeah, he's 36? Fucking hell. Scottish.
Yeah, but he does quite well for somebody who's 36 getting around the pitch as much as he does.
I mean, he's played... I mean, for Sheffield Wednesday, he's played 432 games. Fuck me. He's been there since 2015. I can't see him fucking thingy, mate. Wasn't there a deal we did where when they were in trouble that he was... he donated his wages or something to pay for them or something.
Yeah, there's a couple
for some of the staff or something. So fair play to him, but yeah, I don't think we'd do it.
There's a couple of good comments about Don Ballard. No, I can't see what he's any different to Matthews and the BFS. What we need is a proven striker at this level, not a project player.
Andrew Roberts has got a good question. So, do you not think that we should pay big wages for half a season to get a decent striker in that scores the goal to get promotion? On that, I get what you're saying, but would it be loan or would it be buy? And when you say wages, would you want to look at paying, I don't know, 30 grand, 40 grand, which would be well above, probably double what most expensive players would probably have in our team. And don't forget, I did something for SA the other day. If it's rumoured that SA was 17 million thereabouts, which I don't think it is that high by the time you take agent stuff and everything else out of it, but it was 2.58 million every goal he scored while he was with us. So I think he scored 7 goals or whatever. It was like 2.5 million per goal he scored for us while here when we got the transfer for him. So
There's a couple of there's one name that's been mentioned a couple of times, Connor Punk, 2024, and a couple of others have mentioned him. Callum Wilson, he would fit into that, wouldn't he?
But he's West Ham, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's only been West Ham for about 5 minutes. Been West Ham for about as long as Kitch, Erlock, and the numerous other players, David Ford.
Is Daily Millwall taking the piss? Mate, if we signed a player with that fucking sort of name, mate, I'm fucked.
Yeah, but I tell you what, you will pound a letter on the back of the shirt.
Is that his full name?
No, surely.
That can't be his full name, surely.
Can you imagine? Yeah, we'd have to be lurch size to get that on the back of the shirt, wouldn't it?
Fucking hell, mate. You'd need a bus. Andrew Roberts has just made a good point as well, though, where we were talking about Banham, is he too old? He sat there and said, you know, Ashley Barnes is 36 and put 2 past us yesterday.
Very true. Very true. And I think that Daniel Clement has said that there's a couple of clubs, Ipswich and Borough and Coventry, in for Callum Wilson. I can actually see him going back to Coventry.
Yeah.
I think he was actually a Coventry boy.
Listen, we're not going to fall for that one, Jimmy Cricket, mate. That's the one what got Fat Lions, and I thought that was probably one of the most funniest fucking last transfer window, and the fact that he fucking read it out, which I'm not going to do so that you can't clip it, but one of the, you know, the one where he actually read it out, and you just know that looking at it, you know what's what, but he read it out and said, oh yeah, we're looking at this Danish striker, blah, 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 and you're like, mate, really?
You know what? Yeah, well, I read that then, and I'd forgotten about.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, upstairs for thinking, mate. I've done lives far too many times.
Thank God I didn't say that one. We have just dodged.
Do you know the bit what got me is that someone phoned me the other day and told me that we were looking at I think we were looking at attacking midfielder in Norway or Denmark or somewhere around that way. And when that popped up, I saw it and then I thought, no, this is a got you moment. And yeah, unfortunately, well done, but you didn't get me. But that was probably one of the funniest things from last window. And listen, if you can get any of the shows with these made up names, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? We'll donate something to chat, or I'll find you a special prize, mate. But mate, it'll be funny if you can get any of the other shows and trick them up on mad names like what whoever got Lions TV last time, then go ahead and show us the proof, mate.
Mate, I'll tell you what, yeah. When that happens, you're just thankful that it's not you. We dodged that one because I'd forgotten about it.
That was so funny. And it went everywhere. But then again, he seems to be conscious. I mean, there was another video he did the other day where he was, you know, he was sharing his friendship with a certain other show, what, you know, a certain person of that show's been going around saying it's not so much. So, you know, I think is what it is. But yeah, that has to be one of the best. That and the Millwall Air Force with the banner over fucking Wigan has to be, and take my cap off and rest in peace, T. That will be one of the best things you fucking were ever part of, mate. With the secret page and everything else on Hoff, and yeah, rest in peace and thoughts to your family. You know, they're probably not watching, but thoughts to all your family and friends, mate, which, you know, we're part of. I never met you. Numerous amounts of conversations with you, numerous advice and bits and pieces, and thank you very much for that. And yeah, it's sad that you the news that you passed over Christmas, mate. So yeah, but that was brilliant though. The plane was brilliant.
For Peter Sullivan, T was a moderator on Hoff, the House of Fun, who unfortunately passed just before Christmas.
You probably saw him on Twitter as T off Hoff.
Yeah.
So T of Hoff. He was quite vocal, but he was very articulated in the arguments. But
very funny guy.
Yeah. Really, really dark sense of humour and very dry sense of humour. But he had people he had people up it, mate, on Twitter, etc. He wrapped people up. Fucking.
I think one of two very well-known Millwall fans on Twitter, but a lot more subtle.
Yeah. Probably just as much reach and a much thingy, but yeah, he's he never brought a wooden spoon with him. Let's put it that way. That's probably the easiest way of doing it, isn't it? So yeah, but he was good. Sorry, Pete, didn't know you didn't know, mate. But yeah, it's I think it was the last week of between Christmas and New Year, I think, as such. But
just before Christmas, wasn't it?
Was it just? I think it was just before. Just it come out just after as such, didn't it? But yeah, he's there. So yeah. Let's go back to some of these questions before we go.
Much more.
No, we got the bits there. No, the only other bits I've got there, mate, is that Neil admitted that the team didn't possess the killer instinct compared to Burnley, which we already know. I do think some of the people not that long ago, before probably the end of November, what were on Twitter calling Neil out, getting replaced and all that, I think you're fucking deluded, because where we are now is fantastic.
Social media is putrid. Let's be honest. Social media, if it wasn't a necessity for my job, I would swerve it like the plague.
100%.
If you see something on Twitter calling for Alex Neil to be sacked or to leave, check the mental state of the person posting it. Because
to be honest, there's a few people what post on.
Yeah, because they aren't all there.
There's a few people what post on Twitter and they're on there far too much. And if I'm honest, if they told me it was going to be 45 degrees outside, I'd still take a fucking umbrella. Do you know what I mean? It's since then, but we haven't lost back-to-back games, by the way. Back-to-back league games since October. So this squad's got a bounce back ability, so I think they'll have that there. So yeah, let's find the right mouse what will work, and we'll put that there. And we'll go there. Right, let's go through some of these comments. So why haven't we got the checkbox out yet? It's day 11. I think Steve Gallen was saying that we need to, we wanted to do it early. I think we still want to do it early, but the problem is that we don't hold the keys. That's the problem. The cards to deals are always in the opposition hand. So if they don't have the player, even though you could be monitoring a player, if that club hasn't got a player to replace them or something's happened, then you're going to get delayed. So, and also, listen, towards the end of the season, towards the end of the window, you might get them slightly cheaper. So I'm not worrying. We've got 5 players coming back this month. And if they're coming back in the same level, what Josh Coburn's coming back and scoring on the first game back, I'm not really worried. I think we probably need 2 players, a decent striker what can score, and an attacking midfielder or a decent experienced midfielder. I would say that's what we need there to fall in with, Casper and Billy and all that. Do you agree, disagree, Neil?
I think saying you want to do deals and actually getting deals across the line are 2 completely different things.
Yeah.
Your ideas and a club and another club's ideas, you might be quite a long way down the line. But if that other club has a couple of injuries, then suddenly that player might not become available.
No, totally agree. If Alex Neil wanted to win against Burnley, why the hell did he didn't want to win? He come out and said he didn't want to win. It's too much of a distraction. So yeah, I think that was proof in the pudding there. And he said in the press conference he weren't there. Guys, watch how weak Ballo and Amaku. You see, if Omar was here, he really has question marks over Amaku. That he has the talent, but he just doesn't seem to put it there. He just seems, I think lazy is probably too strong a word, but if you watch him when he loses a ball, he'll stand there looking at everyone else to go, whose fault? As much as listen, and it's turned into a bit of a piss take over the show recently, but I will always stick up for Langstaff. But at least with Langstaff, if he loses a ball, he will chase it back down. I just don't think you get that you have some moments of brilliance from Amaku, but you don't get it every game.
he's inconsistent. A lot of wingers are inconsistent, yeah, and he is just an inconsistent winger. Yeah, you think back a little bit, a long time ago, Paul Ifill, fantastic player on his day, but very inconsistent. Christoph Kinney, another one, fantastic player on his day, but inconsistent.
No, totally agree. The one I can't name, how many realistically do you reckon we're bringing this month? I think we've got 4 or 5 coming back from injury. But realistically, I think new people coming into the club for the first time, I would say 2, maybe 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1 or 2, personally.
I think we need 3, but it depends on how many you're gonna. Yeah, what's worrying is the lack of rumours.
Yeah. But they've been protecting them because obviously people what used to get rumours out to certain people. I think a lot of those channels have closed down. Hence why the poor girl got the wrong information, which I think was probably a plant, to be fair. But hey ho, it is what it is. Moles get caught, unfortunately, because they get sloppy.
Yep.
Leonard is a solid cover at right back. He didn't play that well yesterday, though. Looked fucking well out of it yesterday.
I think,
and as well as Danny Mack.
I think he's another player out of contract at the end of the
Both
season.
Both of them are.
I think that even though Ryan Leonard's old man lives around the corner, if he's watching this, don't put a brick through my window. But I think that Ryan Leonard's on his last season with us.
Yeah, might get one more, but I think it'll be a paper play sort of thing. But yeah, we mentioned that Howland and others need to go to a good League One team to get tested and then get ready for the Championship, or in theory, the Prem.
Why does he? He's saying why does he? Because he isn't playing.
Why does he? Oh yeah, why does he? Yeah, because he's not. I think he needs I think he need the experience just to get him. Maybe half a loan, and bring him in. Don't know.
He isn't going to get more game time in the Championship.
Focus on the top 6 is a ridiculous notion, lads. We never have it in us to finish the top 6. We don't look like we're finished top 6. So going out the cup is gutting, and it's not okay.
I think it is. Agree with that. I think that we grind out results in the league. You look at how many times have we scored last-minute winners in the last couple of months?
Yeah.
2 times, and scored for points. I think that we've got something about us, and that we do grind out results. And I think
the FA Cup's pointless. I don't really see what the FA Cup isn't what it used to be, especially now they got rid of the FA Cup replays, all of that. They've taken the heart out of the FA Cup as such, and it's not there. But I think, all day long, the league is much important to us. We don't get bundles of money. You might get 60 grand if you won this round, or maybe 100 grand to win this round. But realistically, by the time you pay for, your transport and everything else, I think it's much more viable not to have it. And everything what goes with it, the police budget, the bill and everything else, I think it's just advisable there. So we've done that one. Why was Doughty on the right? Surely he's better on the left. Yeah, I thought he'd better on the left. Normally, I thought that's where we played him, but
I think it was probably just to fit into. He needed somebody to play that. Didn't you say that Derek was injured?
Yeah, Derek was injured yesterday.
So might that have had something to do with it all?
Yeah, there you go. Look, Chris says we'll never be a player that spends 8 million on a player. I don't think we are at the minute, but I wouldn't put it past us going forward because that's just the way the market is. But I think it will be instalment.
I think if we got into the Premier League, we'd have to be.
Yeah, Danny Robbins. Evening, lads. Don't know if this has been asked, but do you think we will have any signings before Watford? I'm not sure. We might have one, maybe, because I think they're working on a couple, but it's whether or not they get them over the line. So it'll be interesting.
I think it's a case of not building up your hopes, and it comes along. a bonus.
Yeah, I would just say before the end of the window, we'll have some players in.
Yeah,
but when, don't know.
We just your hopes, Danny. I think he's the answer to that one. If one comes off, superb.
Yeah, his philosophy is high risk, high reward, but with that sometimes comes heavy defeats. We've scored 12 goals in the last 15 minutes or later, third highest in the champ.
Thank you very much, Stato Alex.
That's it. That one. Stephen Jeffrey says, I'd like to see Howard get more action. Looks a very tidy player. Always wanting to push forward. No offense to RBW or Amaku. Howard has more technical skill and vision. I agree with you. I think Amaku should go out on loan as well, to be fair. I think that he just needs a consistent run of games to be able to go, yep, here we go. That's it. And I think that's it. I think he needs that level of consistency. I think under previous, I think we probably destroyed him, with his confidence and stuff, and he just needs a consistent level, but I just don't think we have that risk to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, Bangora Williams hasn't actually impressed me since in the side. I think he's been pretty much a passenger.
I think he has the ability to be better than SA, but I just think that he hasn't moved forward.
No.
But yeah, I think Alex Neil has aired this season. He's not given the likes of Howard and Matthews enough minutes to get them up to speed as we did SA. Matthews might have been the answer, but who knows? I think with SA, they knew that he weren't going to start. I think they knew he weren't going to stay. I think his agents were pretty much pushing that he weren't. And then the fact that he turned down one person on the contract, and then it was Gallen what managed to get him to sign a 3-year deal. And then on the back of that, he started playing regular football. And then obviously he got the move to Palace, which I think if they hadn't have sold Elise, in it? Elise? SA. If I hadn't have sold SA, then I think he would have probably been slowly brought into the first team. But I think the fact that they sold him, they needed him in the team, and I think that probably what fucked him up, to be fair. So yeah, I don't think it helped him out. So yeah, bang on that. Where are we? Andrew Roberts. Let's just go from there. January window is always difficult and expensive. Absolutely. Andrew Roberts says Amaku's end product is terrible. No manager has improved him because Amaku just isn't good enough for the championship. Daniel Clements says bang on. Daily Mills says the leaker was Yerbo. Was Uber. Each driver who delivered to Lurch 3 times a week.
Yeah, no, well, we know who the leak was, don't we?
And Chris says I'm on drugs. Do we? Yeah. Do we know? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, see, now the penny's just dropped with you.
Oh, yeah. The man with the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
They should change their Twitter handle to the man with the wooden spoon, because I know you listen while you're in the gym. We always have a good run from February onwards. Yep.
True. Very true.
It's literally pointless. Where are we? We're never going to win the FA Cup. More chance of finishing top 6. Absolutely. Andrew Roberts said we've had a very good chance of promotion during our FA Cup run in 2004. We always fell away because the players were concentrating on the cup and didn't want to get injured.
That is actually 100% spot on. And we must be the only team that's ever reach an FA Cup final and probably made a loss out of it because we didn't capitalise on that.
And didn't Theo not pay the team a bonus, and isn't there another an awful rumour that we done an interview with a player who told us it, that Dennis Wise allegedly went to some intensive sports massage rehab places in Italy before the cup game so that he could guarantee to play the cup game.
Yep, and to get the bonus or whatever it was. Yep. Yeah. Was that player at Darren Ward?
And if you look in the podcast, you'll see that the interview with Darren Ward's there. If it's not there, just message us and I'll release that, because we got a couple of videos what we did back in the day. Me and Neil did back in the day. that went out as a podcast, but never went out there. We did an interview with David Ford.
I did Mark
Brian
Phillips.
Horn, and also Brian King, all three of them together, didn't we? That was fucking hilarious.
Yep, I did Mark Phillips, who was superb. I did Paul Shaw, Paul Roberts. There were loads of them.
A little bit West Ham loving, wasn't he? He was a little bit fucking a bit sure of himself. You did a big one with John Sitton as well.
Sitton, yeah. I've got. We did Cherno Samba.
Yeah.
We did Young Williams.
Yep.
Which was actually probably one of my favourite interviews.
Who was that? That was begins with an M.
Do you want me to have a look in my who?
Marvin Williams.
Yeah, Marvin Williams.
I was thinking, I knew the name Marvin Elliott come to mind, and I went, yeah, it's not him. It's a smaller one. Yeah, that was a great interview. It was good.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
How many points will we get in the next 3 games? Yeah.
Bobby says, how many points we get in the next 3 games? I'm saying 7. I reckon we might get 9. Oh, look, Daily Millwall says, there you go. You see, Daily Millwall, that man there wrote that book. So if anyone wants that book, by the way, hold it up.
I'm going to update it. This one's about 4 years out of date.
So we will put a link up, and we'll make a show sponsored to it and bring him on maybe. But Neil wrote that book and a few other books with other people. So Neil, there is still one available at the moment. If you want it now, he will send me a link, and I will put the link in the show description of this episode. And then if you want to buy one from, I think Amazon or whatnot, then we do that. Or because it has to go for Amazon, doesn't it? You don't have printed copies yourself, do you?
Yeah, no, everything goes through Amazon. And I've actually done a lot of season histories from promotion inside. So I'll send you a link to me, or just search Neil Fizzler on.
Just get in touch and I'll give you a link to it. I'll put a link on here anyway. But I mean, Nick, if you like the old stuff, Nick is the voice of some of the shows with Nick Hart where they do the history. Nick Hart with Neil's history, where they do the history hour and talk about old stuff and whatnot. So
that's why I get a word in edgeways.
It's worse than being on here, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Absolutely, definitely.
That's it. I think we're pretty much done, mate. There's no game to what we're going to do going ahead. I just think realistically that yes, we lost. Who fucking cares? I don't. And I think it's just one of those. We dust ourselves off. We take the rest of the week as a rest. On to Watford next weekend. Omar's birthday weekend. So if you see Omar at Watford, buy him a beer. It is his birthday. And enjoy the week.
You were knowing Omar, he'll probably be in Witherspoons and will tweet out a link.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said, Mickey, have you?
No, what that means is that Chris Brown is at the top of the prediction league, and I ignore him because he fucking, I swear he's got a hack for it, because I think he won last year as well and he won this year. But Chris Brown, if you send me a screenshot, mate, where you are, because I've not looked on it for ages, mate, I will look at sending you something, and there's someone else I need to send something to. So thank you very much, gents. There are going to be some few changes shortly coming with the shows. We're not going anywhere. It's just there's a few bits and pieces that we've looked at and just questioned, but Sunday will still be here, mate. And we'll just be expanding a little bit more into giving you more bits and pieces around it. So, thank you very much for coming in. Second place should get a prize. Fucking hell. I'll tell you what, Peter and Chris Brown, if you're 1 and 2 at the end of it, then you can fight for the keyring, all right? We'll do a charity fight match for you. So
so Peter will win that, apparently.
I've got no idea. Chris is a boy back in the day, so just another thing, really. I'll put it in the show notes once the show goes back up, and in the podcast in the description, there will be a link to Win Trust, which is basically a charity for Charlie Wynn. He's a Millwall fan who was an up and coming boxer who suffered, unfortunately, a stroke and whatnot and a brain injury, and it's really affected him the last 6-8 years. He's been fighting back to recovery. Unfortunately, physio and whatnot is very, very expensive. So if you can donate anything, that'd be really great. Then yeah, listen, I'm not begging you, but if you can, it'll be great. He is one of our own. And yeah, the link in that will be there, and we've got a few things planned for him later this year. So get involved. Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. It's a pleasure. It's been a good show, mate.
It has been. Do you know what?
40 minutes too long, but it's good.
Yeah, but it's been a good. Yeah, it's been a good laugh. It's been. I think the last time I was on was an international weekend. But mate, you and Omar kept me sane through lockdown. So
you kept us sane too, mate. But more professional now, though. You see, I've got show notes. I kept it going.
Yeah, but you still swear a lot, though.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's, you know,
I
will try to stop, okay?
I tried
to grow hair too, but that don't work.
Yeah, likewise, mate, likewise.
So, yeah, Neil, final words?
That's just got the Watford and smash the cunts.
That's it. Thank you very much for liking. Please make sure that you subscribe. And if you're watching this back, it's normally about 63% of people watching this aren't subscribed. It might mean nothing to you, but a little subscribe for us means the world for us. It means that we get in front of more people. And also check out the community posts from us, because we're posting on there a lot more regular. There'll be a few more quizzes and questions and stuff on there, because allegedly it will help us as well. So make sure you like, follow, and what am I doing now? Oh yeah, we'll press this.
Oh, giddy up and get away. Oh, we're going Millwall and we're going today. Here we go, rocking on.